Excuse me. All right, we are live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we got a lot to talk about in our live stream. We're gonna look at crypto, which is breaking down again. Bitcoin has lost the $20,000 level again. It's showing a lot of signs of weakness right now. Ethereum's also eyeing the $1,000 level. What's gonna happen next? We're gonna talk about that in this video today. We're gonna look at a lot of updates that have happened in the space since yesterday. Also look at some things that came out that could be a possible explanation for some of the weakness that we see in crypto right now. We're going to answer some of your questions and a whole lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then of course, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. And also, we are relaunching the Blockchain Bootcamp on Thursday, July 14th. So if you haven't signed up for the special launch event, go ahead and head on over to that website right now. You'll find the special sign-up link there. So, all right, let's see. We got people jumping in the chat here. We got Culture Eyes, David Stone, Technically, Above Realty, Ruff, Automatic Beats, Dale, Ugandan Crypto Guru, Jaya, Sierra Thiek, Rodrigo, Robbie, Tina, Aquila, All Time Crypto, Williams, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. So Bitcoin and crypto are looking weak. All right, so Bitcoin, like I said, has fallen below the $20,000 level. Lots of other cryptos are showing pretty big signs of weakness. Ethereum is eyeing the $1,000 level here. We see a little bit of relief on the hourly time frame over the past 24 hours and 7 days. Things are looking kind of weak. So, we can see the price action that Bitcoin has put in. We hit this level of about $17,000 about, almost 2 weeks ago over the weekend. All right. And then looks like we had tried to have some sort of recovery and showing lots of signs of weakness, basically not able to get past this $25,500 level, $21,500 level. Basically got rejected here. Came back up, tried to hit it again. Also another rejection about the $20,500 level. Seeing some strong signs of resistance there in the short term, which has ultimately led Bitcoin back down to these sub 20K levels. So the question on the table is, are we going to hold this 17,000 roughly $500 level as support and try again, or are we just going to break through this and start making new lows? So that is, literally the $1 million question for lots of people on the table. So let's look at some things that definitely happened yesterday that could have some effect on what's happening in crypto. Of course, as I've been saying since the beginning of the year, you all heard me say this, been watching the live streams, but if anybody's just tuning in for the first time, what we're seeing in crypto is not a crypto-specific problem, okay? We definitely have a major problem in the broader economy that's affecting stocks as well. Again, I don't try to be a macroeconomics expert on this channel, but it doesn't take a genius to see that inflation's a problem, that interest rates have affected pretty much all assets across the board, okay, crypto included. We're not seeing any signs of relief in the stock market, and basically what's happened in crypto over the past, 14 days or so, all right, pretty closely mirrors the price action that we've seen in the stock market, okay? So, this low that we saw in Bitcoin that I was talking about on Saturday, June 18th, pretty well corresponds to this low. Here, of course, we don't trade on the weekends, so you don't have this chance for, things like the S&P 500 to dip down in the weekend. But sort of this support level here, and then starting to make a recovery. It's basically the exact same arc. Okay, so we're seeing a dip back in stocks. We're also seeing a dip back in Bitcoin. But Bitcoin seems like it's a little more harshly correlated to the downside, than something like the S&P 500, which stands to reason. Bitcoin's a riskier asset. It's a higher beta. So I would expect something like that. Seeing the same type of thing in the NASDAQ QQQ. Okay. So let's look at something that happened in the space yesterday that could have a little bit more negative effect on Bitcoin itself. Okay. Compared to that could have some impact on the price. Of course, when you're in a bear market like this, whenever you see sometimes in good news, it typically has no effect on the price. All right, but whenever you see things that do not look good for crypto, they tend to have a negative effect on the price. So, of course, and those kind of exacerbate the bear market, right? Because they sort of like give people more reasons to doubt, crypto. So, for example, back when we saw, let's see here, back when we saw, like the Terra Luna collapse, okay, that we were already in a bearish trend, but that made things just like dump even harder. All right. When we saw, Celsius stuff happen and like other major crypto funds sort of blow up, that really exacerbated a lot of the sell-offs. And so let's look at one thing today that could have some effect on the downward price action that we're seeing right now, particularly for Bitcoin. Now, I'll preface this also by saying that, like, there's lots of reasons why prices, change, why numbers go up and down, but some news can have some impact. It's always hard to tell how much, but let's look at this that came out yesterday. So, Grayscale sues the SEC after rejection of bid to turn the largest Bitcoin fund into an ETF. So the SEC on Wednesday rejected Grayscale's application to turn its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. So basically, Grayscale filed a petition to challenge the decision with the U.S. Court of Appeals of District of Columbia. And so what's the issue here? So basically, one of the big narratives for Bitcoin for a really long time has been that some sort of ETF or exchange-traded fund, okay, for Bitcoin would be insanely bullish for the price, okay? Because what that would do is basically give people who want to trade, who want exposure to Bitcoin through more traditional means, more traditional financial tools, like way more exposure, okay? And there could be some benefits where this could, add Bitcoin to traditional, financial vehicles, perhaps inside of maybe like retirement accounts or something like that, some type of investment vehicle where people have tax advantaged ways to get exposure to crypto that's harder to do now, okay, depending on where you live and what your regulations are. And they cite a lot of the parallels to the gold ETF. So basically, like whenever gold started, trading, if you see that like GLD ticker, like you're trading an exchange traded fund, it's not like you're not like buying actual gold. And so whenever that happened, we saw a big, increase in that price, like a big explosion over time. Okay. And that's one big hope that people have had for Bitcoin, is that if we got an ETF approval inside the United States, that's the big kicker, and also a spot ETF approval, not just like a futures ETF, that would be really big for crypto. Okay, so that hope has, at least for now, been deferred because Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has been one of the leaders in trying to get this approved because they're a pretty natural fit of just converting their existing product over into an ETF, and it got rejected. So for now, no Bitcoin ETF inside the U.S. I mean, honestly, though, yeah, it could be good. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's not that hard to buy Bitcoin on an exchange and just keep it there. I'm not saying it's the best thing to do, but it's not that hard to do. But like I said before, if an ETF gives certain people, exposure in ways that, just doing it through that type of means doesn't, then I could definitely see that being a big deal. But honestly, I don't think it's as big a deal as people are making it out to be. But it could be part of the reason we see some further depression on Bitcoin's price in the short term. Now that being said, I think the major factor is definitely what's going on with the broader economy. The don't fight the Fed, the big trend that we have, the headwinds, but this type of thing can definitely add some additional resistance and depression to the price. Now the question is how much lower can we go? How much lower can we go? A lot of people are wondering, have we seen a bottom? Was $17,500 the bottom for Bitcoin? It very well could be. Okay, I could sit here and draw a bunch of fancy technical analysis on the chart here. Again, I don't pretend to be a big technical analyst by any stretch of the imagination. I do think it would be helpful for identifying key levels. But at this point, I don't know how much they really help because what are they going to do? They basically confirm that we're in a bear market, right? That Bitcoin is bouncing off of. Sorry, my camera's messing up on me here. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see if I can get it to fix. Yeah, there we go. I don't know how much TA is really going to help us in this situation because there's so many factors that are holding us back. And I don't think it's going to be that helpful in confirming that we're in a bear market, right? Like we already realized that we're getting rejected at these critical levels. I don't see why we're gonna like see anything that's going to help us spot the bottom. I don't think technical analysis is going to help us find the bottom right now. So that really begs the question: is how low could we go? Because Bitcoin has sort of broken all the rules of the broken all the rules from the past cycles, which is we've already broken down the previous cycle's all-time high. Right, Bitcoin's never done that in the past, but we've talked about the fact that Bitcoin didn't. If you measure the Bitcoin moves from the bottom to the top, all right, so peak to trough or trough to peak, you can look at that in certain ROI terms. And part of the game here is that if Bitcoin fails to explode to levels. If the party got cut short for Bitcoin based on the, essentially the Fed pivot that raised interest rates that caused this whole thing to happen, that because Bitcoin couldn't get to as high as it really wanted to or what its potential was, that for that reason, like we're likely to see some sort of equal and opposite reaction in the price, okay, which could basically mean that if Bitcoin's going to fall to a similar level that it did before, that's one of the reasons that it's able to break past this prior all-time highs because it didn't really quite go as high as it wanted to. Now, that's one way of looking at things. Now, the other way to think about this is, if you were to measure Bitcoin's, magnitude of drop from the previous all-time high, then that would definitely put us back down to some of these previous levels, which I do think that it's possible that crypto is could go to that Bitcoin could go to that, these $14,000 levels, $15,000 levels. I mean, it's not that far away from the previous $17,500 support that we've seen. Okay. Now that being said, if we get to those points, like, a lot of people are just sitting here saying like, hey, that means this whole Bitcoin thing's over, it's dead. I really don't think it is. Okay. It doesn't feel good in the short term, but I'm telling you how this entire crypto space feels right now during this bear market compared to 2018 is there were so many people doubting whether crypto is even going to exist in a few years in 2018. All right. I don't think like hardly anybody in their right mind who's actually taking an honest look at crypto right now is saying, I wonder if crypto is going to be around in a few years. like almost nobody's thinking that. Okay. Now, some cryptos in particular may not be around in a few years, right? But the entire ecosystem, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, major stuff, I don't think anybody's sitting right here going like, hey, this stuff's just going to go away, or that it's even likely that it's going to go away. And so I think the shift really has been, hey, we know this stuff has insane potential. It's already proven product market fit for a good number of use cases. Like, this is probably just getting started, okay? And so for that reason, like, you've got a lot of, I think the dominant attitude is here that you've got a lot of people who are like, I'm just ready to get some more so the price can go back up, okay? Whether they're going to be bold and do it now and try to catch a falling knife, right? Or whether they're going to wait for it to find signs of a bottom and start accumulating. And the dominant attitude is like, hey, we're trying to position ourselves to get in on this. Because at the end of the day, like anybody, like if anybody thinks that crypto is not going away, okay, and they see that you can buy a Bitcoin for less than $20,000 and the all-time high price was $64,000, $65,000, $69,000, depending on the day you bought it on, what exchange, whatever, right? But somewhere between $65,000 and $70,000. You buy it now and you sell it at the tippy top, that's over a 3x return on investment. Okay. What's the likelihood that Bitcoin's going to go at least back to its all-time high? I think those are pretty good odds. I mean, I think most people watching this channel would agree, but if you just think about it from a very detached observer's perspective, it doesn't, isn't like totally sold on crypto. Like, what are the odds of that happening? Pretty high. You don't know exactly when it's going to happen. Okay. But it's probably going to happen. All right. Likewise, let's say you aren't able to sell it back at the tippy top, right? Because hardly anybody did sell tippy top. I mean, the assumption is that we'll make new all-time highs, right? And then you would at least be able to sell at the tippy top or beyond, right? But let's say that doesn't happen. Okay. Bitcoin has, let's just see here. What is this? December 2020. All of 2021 and 6 months into 2022, and really 1 month into 2020. So that's 19 months. Bitcoin has 19 months of price history above the current price levels. So if you buy now and Bitcoin just spends as much time in the future as it did in the past above the $19,000 level, then you're going to make money on Bitcoin. I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm not saying that, but I'm just telling you the mentality of somebody who's looking at the market from the outside perspective. So that being said, instead of just thinking about technical analysis, think about it from fundamentals perspective. What's the crypto there for? What's the mentality of the person who would buy it? Why would somebody buy it? And then for that reason, what could cause somebody to buy if crypto falls to these lower levels? All right. To have some sort of thesis developed that could say why crypto is likely to find some relative, like basically saying that we're probably closer to the bottom than down here, right? So that's the whole point, right? That because nobody knows the future. You have to think about these things in terms of probabilities, what the possible scenarios are, and try to get inside, the person's head who's on the other side of the screen. Okay, why would somebody do this? What makes this work? And if you think about it that way, it makes you feel like that we are closer to the bottom than the top for sure, way closer to the bottom than we are from the top. Nobody knows exactly where it's going to be. We don't know how long it'll take us to get there and actually establish it. But, in short, crypto could definitely go lower than the current price level. We could see these, $14,500 levels, $15,000 levels. It's not that far away from what it went to before. But that doesn't mean like crypto's over, right? That just means that there's going to be a lot of people looking to place some buys down there. Okay. Now, in terms of timing, the other thing you have to understand, I think, don't fight the Fed sort of mantra is key right now. I do think that, we want to see some clarity on, the economy and inflation and interest rates before, crypto just goes back into some crazy, bull cycle. All right. I think that's going to take some time to get clarity on that. I don't exactly know when that's going to happen. We see lots of people saying different predictions, different timelines. Okay. But nobody truly knows. All right. The future is a little bit cloudy right now. I think that's what makes people really, scared to kind of touch crypto right now. But the fact that like these are all things, these are all massive counter trading signals. Okay. For buying when other people are scared to buy. Now, I'm not telling you to do that. Not telling you to do that. But when you're talking about what marks opportunity versus what is not opportunity, well, opportunity exists when everybody else is, on the sidelines and has reasons not to touch crypto. And the opportunity goes away when the main event has already happened and everybody's piling in trying to catch the train as it's leaving the station, right? So, it's hard to tell how many of those things mark the absolute point of maximum opportunity, but the signs are there. The signs are there. We don't know that it's a flashing signal that all the signs are there. Could you get crypto for half off of what it is now? Potentially. But I feel like we're a lot closer to the bottom than the top, that's for sure. Somebody says it's not enough blood in the streets. You might be right, but at the same time, here's the other thing. You have to think about the herd mentality. That's kind of what everybody thinks now. Everybody kind of thinks that it's going to go lower, bro. We're crypto, we haven't seen enough pain yet. This isn't even close to pain. It's pretty painful. I think we're closer to the bottom than a lot of people are willing to admit. It's just really hard to know exactly where that's going to be. You have to think, what is consensus? The consensus is that, oh no, we just got so much further to go. But the consensus here was Bitcoin's going to 100K, just strap in, and then boom. And then here, oh, we're doing it again. Bitcoin's going to 100K. It didn't happen, right? We need to start thinking the opposite of what the herd is thinking. Now the herd can be right? But you have to start kind of getting in the mentality of thinking in opposites. Because right here, the herd was thinking we're going up. It's true. It's true. It's just true until they're wrong. Okay. And the longer the herd says the same thing, the more likely that, you know, it's starting to quickly become invalidated. And the herd's been bearish for a while. So Mike wants to get an ETH validator for $1,000. That'd be some pretty cheap ETH. I don't know, Mike. I don't think you're going to see any $30 ETH anytime soon. The herd or the buyers? The herd usually doesn't find the bottom. Herd usually doesn't follow the bottom. Herd usually chases moves. Anybody following ENS digits? Yeah, ENS digits are definitely mooning. So Bitcoin's never been in a recession before. Yeah, that's the big I think that's the big dose of FUD right now is like, hey, crypto's never been in a high rate environment, a high, say high rate. Crypto's never been in an environment where rates have increased as fast as they have, where monetary conditions are tightening. Okay, it's never been in a recession either. And so I think that's one reason that people think all the rules are out the window and that they're too scared to touch crypto right now. But in my opinion, that adds to the opportunity. You know what I mean? That gets a lot closer to bottoms. Because crypto companies must move from U.S. regulations and SEC or anti-crypto, whereas the spot ETF, Canada, Australia already has spot ETF. Yeah. It is definitely frustrating in the U.S. Someone says buy 200 Ethereum when it hits $300. We'll see. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps the videos out so that more people learn about blockchain. And if you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, and want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find those free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you'd like those, you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. Okay. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. It's the fastest way to learn in-demand blockchain skills and change your career in record time. And we are launching the Blockchain Bootcamp version 2.0 on Thursday, July 14th. So make sure you head over the link down below to hold your spot today. All right, so that's all I got. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.